Hey guys, this is Oracle Daphne. I am back again for your mid-December Tarot Horoscope 2014. And this is for everyone with their sun, moon, or ascendant in Sagittarius. Quick update from me. I am moving into this place called The Grove in Ellensburg, Washington tomorrow, which is awesome because I drove out here. It took me 7 days to get here, and then I moved into a hotel for 10 days, and then I went to go move into this recent apartment, and there was this water leak in the ceiling and coming down the wall, so I ended up moving back out into the hotel and went crazy looking for an apartment. I didn't think I was going to find one, but this place is actually really, really cool. So I'm really excited, and I get to actually unpack, and I've signed a 1.5 year lease, which is wild. And yeah, it's really exciting. So that's what's going on with me. I am doing some things a little bit differently. I have this really cool gemstone, which I call the Critter. It's a boitroidal agate. I think I still can't say it right, but it's a really wild little stone, and it looks kind of like seashell, like mollusky, because it kind of has that mollusky type, outside, but it's really, really cool, and I can communicate with it actually, which I didn't think was gonna ever happen, but I can. So I'm trying it, seeing how I like it. He's kind of like my little sidekick, He gives me messages, and the messages are really cool. So he gets to kind of hang out with me while I do these. And the other thing is, I am doing private readings like normal. So I'm full-time in this now. So if you want to do private reading, my schedule is opened up a lot. And so I have a lot more availability than I did before. A lot of daytime hours now, more available than before. And during the day, I get booked up pretty quickly. Weekends get booked up pretty quickly. So I would suggest to email me and get you scheduled. So I can do that, and I usually email people back some dates and times that work for me, and then we can talk about setting up something that's good for you. And then for an hour reading it's $75. For a 2 hour it's $150. I spend a lot of time with my clients talking about everything under the sun regarding their reading. We go into health, career, relationships, all kinds of crazy things. Fun stuff, and I usually go overtime. So it's one of those things where the hour is necessary. A lot of people ask me, do I do half hour? And right now, not at this time, just because I take so much time with it, and we get so detailed that it's really worth it for you to have the hour. The other thing too is I am doing a special 2015 yearly overview in private readings. That would be me being just going through doing a spread for each month, and while you're on the phone or on Skype with me, and it's a 2 hour intensive reading, which gives you kind of the overview for the entire year, and it's $250. So 2 hours, $250. I haven't done this before, but I'm doing it now just because it's getting towards the new year. I am going to be doing my January readings, and so stay tuned for those. And I appreciate all your comments. You guys are really, really cool, and I don't respond a lot to comments because I don't have the time for it. I am so busy with readings and just all my life stuff too. But I get back to people for emails. If you email me, within 24 to 48 hours, really quickly, sometimes really, really, really quickly. So, because I'm online all the time and I'm doing videos all the time. So yeah, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. And then let's see what we've got. This is for everyone with their ascendant, sun, or moon in Sagittarius. I love these Sag. I still haven't figured out Sagittarius. Sagittarius is one of those signs. It's still a little bit of a mystery to me. Okay, Sagittarius, let's see what we've got. So in the heart of everything, I feel like it's kind of what I would call a mixed bag. You kind of have some things that are conflicting things. And you may have a lot of inner conflict. Hot and cold. I'm feeling very hot and cold here. You know, 1 minute you're up, the next minute you're down. Things are good, things are bad. He loves me not. Energy, you know. I know you got to watch my Libra reading for December. You got to go back and watch that video about guys and the whole him, waiting on a guy, the whole scenario, okay? But the first card of the reading is the path that you're on, okay? And that's the Judgment card in the upright position. And this is taking the call of responsibility, to be judged, a fresh start, ringing the bells, and letting the whole world know, celebrating. It says all the angels are watching and waiting for you to make the right decision. It's sort of like once you make the right decision, you're going to pass the test. But until you make that right decision, you can't really move on to the next phase of your life. And the thing is right now, again, it's crucial because this is December. This is December. This is a time of letting go. This is a time of saying, okay, out with the old, in with the new. And this is new energy. You know, a new energy needs to come in, wants to come in, but only when you decide you're going to start fresh. You're going to start over. And what's crossing you is actually taking a leap of faith. It's really cool that these are back to back like this. And I feel like Sagittarius, you have no problem flying into the future, because Sagittarius does things kind of quickly and likes to get things done, but and is always like, you know, on target to reach someplace, you know. But in a magical world, to me, this is a girl. I feel like female Sag, this is focused on you. This is a girl that's very, you know, in one instance, she is literally, you know, she's got blonde hair here, but, you know, in a magical world, you know, this is like the same clothing, actually, you know. She's flying here, she's flying up, so she flies up to this rock here, and then she decides, I'm just going to take off like a bird, you know. And she lets the birds help her, you know, rather than flying herself. So I feel like you kind of need a co-pilot with your situation. You need assistance in some kind. I feel like you need some help of some kind, whether that's getting your career kind of off the ground. You need to literally take flight, but you need to allow others to help you. You need to have faith that, you know, that you are headed in the right direction and that you are making the right decision, and that when you take flight, that you're trusting that that assistance is going to help you, you know. It's sort of like you have to believe. You kind of have to believe. It's like Tinkerbell, a little bit. You have to be a little bit like Tinkerbell. You have to believe in magic. You have to believe that God is going to support you and love you, and that He does. You know, I've been through times where I seriously didn't know, and sometimes I still question whether God really, really, really does. You know, love me, but in a way. And I'm connected. I feel like the angels are around me all the time. And I make fun of the angels all the time. And then they roll their eyes at me, you know, for doing that. But I have fun with it, you know, because I'm lighthearted like that, you know. But the main thing is that, you know, I've had clients that don't really believe what I'm saying. they do it to test, and they do it because they kind of are on a quest for knowledge. They don't really believe, because they don't really believe in what I'm saying. They turn around and say, well, you're such a phony or something like that, which is interesting because I've never been called a phony in my entire life. Never. Not once. Well, I've been called other things. I have never once been called a phony because I'm very, very, very real, authentic person. I don't have a lot of stuff that I hide, everybody has their secrets, but for the most part, I'm really just very, very real. So the thing about this is that the people, I'm just saying, I feel like there's people around you that either don't believe in you don't even believe in yourself, and you don't necessarily believe that God is there and that the angels are there and that the angels do love you and that the God really does love you and that ultimately this whole thing is for your growth, is for your learning, is for your higher understanding or higher wisdom, And this is one of those things where if you're going to be like that person that calls everybody a phony but really is more just a phony themselves, then it's going to be difficult for you to trust the universe enough to save you. So you're kind of inhibiting yourself. You need to let go, let God, and say, okay, my career is going to take off. I am going to fly. I'm going to fly with God's assistance, and I'm going to fly with the universe's love and support. And you're going to take off, and it's going to be fabulous. And yeah, you may hit some turbulence. You may not feel like it's going to go somewhere, but you have to believe that it will. You just can't be in a state of disbelief, is what I'm saying. You can't be in a state of, God is a phony, because if you think that, then what's the point in trusting? You just don't have the trust. You need the trust. You need to trust that it's going to be okay. When you take the leap of faith, that your career is going to get off the ground, that there is a higher wisdom to everything, and there's a higher purpose to everything. Okay, so what's going on? The foundation is this card, which is the fear card in reverse. This is a great card. This is no fear, okay? This is the opposite of fear, which is no fear, having no fear. This is someone who fights back because they have inner strength to face their fears, to overcome their fears and all odds. To face their fears and to overcome all odds. That's what it says. And faith in a higher power. See, it's interesting that we're talking about belief and faith in a higher power. Because I'm saying in order to do this, you have to have this. Which I feel like, okay, it says like in the distant, this is the foundation, but this is also the distant past. So, at one point in your life, you did have faith. You did have the belief that God really did love you. But somewhere along the way, at some point, this card was reversed. At some point, you became fearful. And that's why the universe is testing you. And it's saying you need to take a leap of faith to get that no fear back. That's the main thing. And this is the recent past. The recent past is this psychic medium energy of being a medium, of having a lot of artistic creativity, being, she is creative, she's engaging, she listens to her intuition, she follows her heart, She listens to the stars. She can actually like communicate with stars and the energies there. Um, and she has a lot of star power. There's a lot of like she's a star seed. That's what she is. Um, and again, it's interesting because in the past there was this trust because she is trusting that these turtles are going to pop up right where she steps. That something's going to pop up right at that time. You know, I was telling in my last video, I went to go look for an apartment today, and I was starting to become very despondent and depressed because I went to, I think, like 6 different apartments. It could have been more. And either they had no vacancy, or they wouldn't take a cosigner, or blah, blah, blah. And it just, or they weren't there, the office was closed, and so I was driving around everywhere, and I said, okay, I'm going to go to one last building, you know. That's the building that I'm going to, God, and I really am hoping that that is going to be the place that I live, because I'm done. And it turned out, that's the place that I'm living. And I'm moving in tomorrow. And it happened like that. So it's like one of those things, you know, and I'm very grateful for it. The critter says, when stuff like that happens, you need to be very grateful. You know, be grateful. Critter says be grateful. But in the past, you were trusting. In the past, you had the trust, and you had no fear. And right now, you're kind of going through a period of hard work right now. You're the spider. You're working really hard, trying to get somewhere, maybe doing a lot of networking. The spider is through creativity and hard work, you'll achieve success. Oh, and patience too. Patience is a virtue with the spider. But the problem is that you're heading into frustrated territory, okay? You're headed to a place where you're very frustrated. There's tension. There's a lot of tension. This is maybe not getting along with somebody in your life. This could be just frustration, tension, and it said you could cut the tension with a knife, you know, just it's very thick. The tension around you is very thick. And it's... I still feel like it's because you need to take a leap of faith. It's because you're being tested to get your faith back, to get your belief back, to get your no fear back. You need to get it back. You've lost it in some way. I mean, the thing is, I think of Sagittarius as being very courageous, very fiery. But for some reason, there's this element of weight. You know, you're carrying all this weight. It's like dead weight. You know, you're carrying this burden of frustration, this burden of negativity. And I kind of just not sure where it's coming from. Critter says it's coming from your heart chakra. So this is because maybe you've been hurt before. Maybe because, you know, and Sagittariuses are very much consistently seeking love and passion. They need a relationship. They need it like oxygen. It's like they're constantly, no matter what, even if they could be sitting on top of the world and feeling like amazing. But if they don't have a partner, that they're not having sex, or they didn't have sex yesterday, they're upset. Why? Because they need to have the passion. They need to have that fire, that passionate connection with somebody. It's funny because I'm talking about this, and this is the next card, which is passion, which is seriously passion, which is sex and passion and love and the whole ball of wax. And emotionally, you want love, romance, bliss, and happiness. You want the whole ball of wax, amazing chemistry, hot sex. This could also be a one-night stand. Maybe you had like a one-night stand with somebody, you know, emotionally that kind of got to you in a way. Maybe it's just this what makes you happy right now. It's strange because it seems to me like, well, no, it's not strange. It's strange because the one-night stand thing, you know, I feel like you just really want passion. You want love, you want sex, your sex drive is on. There's a lot of frustration. I feel like you'll get your frustration out when you have sex. I feel like that'll help you in some way. But you need to still be able to get over your frustration without having sex. You need to be able to like figure out your problems on your own and be able to say, okay, I'm really frustrated right now. I'm going to go take a cold shower. I'm really frustrated right now. I'm going to go listen to some Coldplay. You know, I'm really frustrated right now. I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to run 10 miles, you know, like get on a treadmill, get on one of those, bicycles, stationary bicycles, spin, a couple of miles, get it out of your system rather than feeling like this is your solution. I don't necessarily feel like this is a solution. Although emotionally it's good for you, but you still need to figure out the problem. It's sort of like a drug in a way. I feel like it's like taking a drug. It's like taking, in order to feel good, it's like taking a drug. Is it really good for you in the end? No, it masks the problem, What's coming from the outside is a lot of burdens, carrying a lot of weight. Again, it's interesting because I picked that up before I even saw this, which is this weight energy, this weighted, heavy load of responsibility, heavy load of, a lot of, bills piling up. I feel like some of you, like your bills are like stacked. Like you have a lot of debts. I feel like just utility bills. I feel like past medical stuff even. This is everything, and this is taking on other people's problems. This is burdens. This is carrying like a heavy load of burdens, and so that's where the heaviness comes from. That's why you're frustrated. Okay, so again, in my readings, these two cards usually kind of go together in some way. They kind of connect. The reason you're frustrated is because you got all this crap on your plate, which totally makes sense. And then your attitude is good, but the outcome is difficult. So we've got some heavy, what I would call blocks. You got some serious blocks, which I haven't seen really, with the exception of, I think, one other sign, major obstacles to overcome in the last couple weeks of December. But let's talk about your attitude. Your attitude is you want to be a star. You are looking at the mirror and you see yourself as a star. And you are. And you have that musical ability and magical ability to be the star. And it says everything you can dream of. Because to me, this girl is playing the piano, but she's dreaming of being a star. And she's dreaming of money. And she's dreaming of all those pentacles. And she's dreaming about all that, success. And her belt is, made of green gemstones, or maybe they're just made of stones, but she thinks that they're emeralds, or something like that. She's a thing with jewelry, I feel. And it glitters, But this is magic, music, and beauty. These three things are very important to you, Sagittarius. So I feel like you're on the right track as far as, you have the right attitude. Because I feel like you're going to come into your own power. But the obstacle that you're going to run into at the end of the month is this card that I don't like, because it is very negative and there's several elements to it. So let's just go through it. It's basically the Seven of Swords, which is the liar, the cheater, the thief card. Okay, this is a guy who has stolen and he's gotten away with it. This is a guy who's cheated and he's gotten away with it. This is a guy who lied to your face and got away with it. You are the swan. You can also be this person, Sagittarius. If you're a guy, you're this person. This can also be a girl. This liar, cheater, thief can also be a girl, because in a magical world, sex, orientation, gender doesn't really apply, because people can shape shift and all that stuff. So that's in a magical world. So, but in my understanding of this card. The swan is a girl. This is a guy. Because he's not wearing a shirt. That's why. Okay? So she sees that he's lying. She sees that he's cheated. She sees he's not being real. There's also several other elements. This is also turning your back on responsibility. Which, if you have a lot of responsibilities, you don't want to deal with them. You're like, screw the credit cards. Screw paying my bills. Screw all this, X, Y, Z. You don't want to deal with it. It's also turning your back on someone, you know? Not calling somebody back, not being there for someone for some reason. Doesn't seem like that's you, Sagittarius. I feel like this is another person in your life that's more just, I feel like there's cheating going on in some instances. I feel like there's lying going on in others. And I feel like there's stealing going on in even further other examples. So some of you are kind of experiencing a combination of those three things. Some of you are really only experiencing one. There's also the escape. Okay, so there's the escape from responsibilities. There's turning your back on someone. And there's also hiding behind a mask, being fake behind the mask. Not, you know, sort of wearing that mask, not really showing people who you really are, you know. There's that element. If there's no lying, cheating, or stealing going on, and you're for sure about that, then, you know, consider being more authentic. Consider being more real. Consider being more open. Consider being more, like, saying what you're thinking, you know? If you don't say what you're thinking, I mean, the thing is, see, I feel like this is a big deal, actually. I feel like some of you are really, like, don't say what you're thinking because you're afraid of what's going to happen when you do. But you'll never know if you don't. And it's better for you to, obviously you need to have a filter, but I feel like you're filtering too much. You need to be real, say what you're thinking, because that's how other people connect to you. If you don't say what you're thinking, then there's not going to be a connection. There is no connection if you don't. There's something in this card. I've never seen that before. For some reason, I'm seeing that this bird is dropping something. I feel like it's dropping something into this guy's hand. So it's like he didn't steal it outright. His accomplice did. So there's the element of stealing. So some of you are dealing with somebody who did take from you. And I feel like they told somebody else to do it. And that other person did. And brought it back, you know, and gave it to them. You know, maybe for a price. I don't know. There's something weird going on there. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So we're not going to leave off on a bad note, you know. And the way to overcome this character is to make sure this character is out of your life, okay? It's going to be a young guy. It's going to be a young guy, late teens, early 20s, okay? That's his age in my mind. Kind of scrawny, kind of slithery, sneaky, shifty. Don't like him at all. The good news is that most of you know who this is. Most of you know what he's done, and most of you are not really, the wool is not on your eyes. You see him clearly. The problem is getting rid of him out of your life, because for some reason he's wormed his way in, and you have a difficult time really ejecting him out of your life. But you need to. You need to say, okay, you're gone. You know, bye-bye. I actually did this a couple times. I said, wave goodbye. Wave goodbye to that person. Wave goodbye. Goodbye to that person. You know, they're done. You know, my aunt used to say, bring the curtain down. Bring the curtain down. Okay? No more. And I feel like you may even have feelings for this person. You want to believe he's a good person. You see the good in him. You don't understand why he's bad, but he is. And you have to accept that. You have to accept that. Deep down, he's bad. Even if it's not deep down, even if it's out in the open, he's bad. A lot of women are attracted to bad dudes. Why? Because they try hard to make us love them, you know? And by them making all this crazy effort, we somehow believe that they're true, and because they're making all this effort, they're putting so much energy into it. But it's not true. It's not real. It's not authentic. I pulled another card, but I got the sadness card. I forgot the sadness card again because I feel like this person has made you sad and lonely, and they've made you feel like you don't have any friends. But you do have friends, and you do have, pets, and you do have nature, and you do have hope, because hope is here. So it's not like it's all bad. It's just like I feel like this character is bringing some sadness into your life, or this character has brought some sadness into your life. I feel like at the end of December, you're going to have to deal with this person. You're going to have to deal with getting him out of your life. And if you don't want to, that is up to you, but you still need to deal with it. And you need to recognize that he's not a good dude. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, no matter how many diamond rings he's given you, he's not good. He's not good for you. Okay, so some of you are not dealing with a guy. Some of you are dealing with not wanting to pay your bills, not wanting to be responsible, not just turning your back, on responsibility. And you may be turning your back on somebody. Maybe you don't want to be in a friendship anymore. You're turning your back. Maybe you don't want, it's not even a friendship. It may just be some kind of thing where you don't want to deal with the world, and you're shutting them out. The final message, and I pulled another card because I really, really don't like how things are going in December for you, Sagittarius. It's very, very tense. It's very, very heavy. It feels like you need to get back to a place where you are in tune with things because you're out of tune with things. And the star, you got the star card, which you got the double. To me, it's a double star reading. Okay, so you got the star here. And you got the star here. And to get both in one reading is really quite magical. So she's a star, right? She sees that she's a star. She knows that she's a star. But music and beauty and art are her things. She loves that stuff. And the star card here is the stars, the heavens are really watching out for you. And this is healing, I feel like healing is going to come after this. I feel like you get him out of your life, or you recognize that he's done this to you, and he leaves, okay? You might not actually have to do anything. And then you become really sad. You become really lonely, because as much as you hated this character, as much as he robbed you of something, as much as he stole something from you, you miss having him in your life. So you become really upset. And then you go through a period of healing. And I feel like your blessings are unblocked because he was blocking your blessings. And you actually, finances and things start to becoming really, really better. I feel like this is going to happen in January to actually mid-January, where money is going to start to roll in once this character is out of your life. If you can get rid of this character, you may be in an affair. You may be having an affair with someone, you may be dealing with guys that are cheating on their wives, And the thing about affairs, and I'm just going to say this is important. The thing about affairs is that people get into affairs because there's something missing in their lives and because it's safe. If somebody's cheating on their wife or on their husband for that matter, and they go and they sleep with somebody else, that somebody else inherently kind of deep down knows Sometimes they even know about the situation, but inherently they deep down know, or they don't want to get into a relationship because it feels unsafe. So they get into a relationship with this character who's cheating and then they continue the cycle because it's safer. They know that chances are the cheater isn't going to cheat on them. At least they don't think so. Why would they do that? They're getting what they want, right? But a lot of times the cheater does cheat on them with somebody else as well, because the cheater is in a pattern of cheating and is looking for emotional fulfillment. They're looking for sexual fulfillment. They're looking for something that's missing in their relationship. The reason people cheat is because there's a hole in their relationship that's so empty, and they have got to fill it because it's driving them crazy that they can't fill it, that they can't fix. I feel like a lot of cheaters, they're natural fixers. They want to fix everybody. They can't fix themselves. I feel like a lot of Pisces end up cheating because Pisces has emotional needs and emotionally blocks other people, and because Pisces are fixers, they can fix others, but they can't fix themselves. Now, this is a reading for Sagittarius. So you may be in a relationship with a Pisces guy or Pisces girl, okay? Pisces men have strong tendencies to cheat. So you may be in a relationship with a Pisces male. The thing is that it's not because of something you said or something you did. If you're the person that, your husband or your partner is cheating on you, your girlfriend, whatever, is cheating on you, it's not something that you said or did that really could have been prevented. It's something that they felt was missing. And a lot of people think, well, if I had worked on it, and they blame themselves. Chances are it's bound to happen anyways, no matter what you did. It's not to say that the relationship was doomed for failure. It's not that. It's just that sometimes holes naturally appear, okay? It's like Swiss cheese. The holes naturally appear because of some enzyme or whatever. It's like a chemical reaction. Some people, when you get together, their chemistry does not create any holes in the cheese, okay? Sometimes people get together and it creates these holes. And why? Just that's the way it is. But these holes create trouble because then one person feels like they have to go and try to fill it. And they go and try to fill it with somebody else. And the person they go and fill it with is somebody who has been hurt before, doesn't want to get into a real relationship because it's unsafe in some way. And they don't want to get hurt. And so they end up getting, a lot of times the people that have been cheated on get into relationships with a guy who's cheating on his wife because it's safer than getting into another relationship with someone who's actually cheating on them. Now, does that make much sense? Maybe not, but that's my estimation of what has happened. If you're dealing with a cheater, then, you're either the person that feels like a real relationship is unsafe in some way, or you're dealing with the hole in the cheese. Sometimes I make a lot of sense. I feel like this one I did. But anyways, I wish you guys a Merry Christmas, okay? Do not get bogged down with any of this. Let it go. If you're in a relationship with a cheater, acknowledge that, okay, at some point you felt like it was unsafe for you to get into a real relationship. But now you can allow yourself to do it. Say, I want a real relationship. Tell God, tell the universe, I want a real relationship, and break it off with the cheater. And if you're the cheater, then you need to recognize there's some holes in your cheese, and there's nothing you can do to fix it. And it's time to leave. That's it. Anyways, Merry Christmas. Big hugs. Big kisses. And I will talk to you guys again soon. Thank you so much. Take care.